Return of the Slimepires by Sophie Houlden for Pico 8 is an action platformer for Pico 8 on Pico 8. Let's Pico 8. Welcome to Pico Playtime, the video series where I play through some cool Pico 8 games to show to you lovely people. Every time I do that intro, it's got to have a different inflection. Anyway, let's get the game loaded up. Today's game is called Return of the Slimepires and it's by the developer called Sophie Houlden. The last game of Sophie's that I played on the channel was called Curse of Greed, which was a pretty cool platformer game with an interesting spin to it. I believe it was made for Ludum Dare, so go and check that out. Today's game, though, is called Return of the Slimepires. Now, this game, as far as I can tell, was released about a week ago, and it's already been featured on the Pico 8 BBS, the forums, so that's cool. That's how I discovered the game, kind of. Anyway, it's featured on there. It's a really good example of what Pico 8 can do. Let's get it loaded up then, whilst I read the story. So, years after the Horde have claimed Earth's surface, they find their way into Bunker 4103, the last bastion of humanity. You awake in a remote part of the underground shelter, and if you want to remain human, you must reach the bunker's deepest point, the safe room. Yes, this is a game where we are going to explore a subterranean complex, kind of like a certain game I'm not going to mention, Metroid. Yes, that's the last time I'm going to mention that game, because it's a platform game with exploration and kind of backtracking. Every platform game on Pico 8 is pretty much going to be that because of the way Pico 8 works with the map. That doesn't mean... Anyway, I digress once again. Yes, this is a pretty cool game and I wanted to show you it because it does a lot of things very well. So, we're on the title screen. Now, straight away, you may notice there is a continue option. Yes, you can save and track your progress in this game. There are multiple endings which you can unlock through skill and persistence. I managed to unlock 2 of them so far, the easy 2. The harder 2 are guarded by bosses. I haven't got that far yet. However, if you download this game via itch, and if you want to support the developer by giving them some money as part of a tip, or well, kind of paying for the game really, you get some extras, and one of the rather cool extras that Sophie has made is a video kind of talk through of the game. Now that's where I watched the other endings and I thought, oh, that's fantastic. Someday I hope to get to that point through skill and persistence. But anyway, if you want to support the developers, go and check out their rich pages and get their games and leave them a tip. So you get all these beautiful extras. There's an illustrated manual as well. So many little cool little extras. Anyway, let's get into the game. I'm going to make a new game. I'm going to show you it from the beginning, see how far I can get in to get over the kind of, get over to you the basics of the game. Okay then, here we are. We start off on this area of... That's very precise, isn't it? We start off in an area. Yeah, this first screen is basically getting us to learn the basic controls of the game. It's nice when games on Pico 8 think about the experience of new players, because there isn't a lot of room in a Pico 8 cartridge. It's something I'll say day in, day out. Every day of the week I'm saying this. But yeah, there isn't a lot of room in Pico 8 cartridges. So if you can squeeze some kind of light tutorial elements into your game, spending that precious token space on helping new players, I greatly appreciate that, because tutorials are hard to do. It's nice to have them happen in a kind of natural way like this. So yeah, you get through this first section, you've learned some of the basic controls. You may notice there that there is a switch that I had to shoot, and that opens a gate. We'll see more of those. This little device here is a checkpoint. Those will become much more important later on. Every time you die, unsurprisingly, for example, oh look, you can run through the spikes, but if you jump on the spikes, you die, and you respawn at the checkpoint. But there are some other uses for that as well, which we will get to. So let's move on. Stepping through the, safely stepping through the spikes. There are some ladders. Now, the ladders do take quite a little bit of getting used to, I found. They are quite fiddly. Platformers often have fiddly ladders. It just goes with the territory. So, yeah, it will take you a little bit of a while to get used to that. There isn't anything really taxing with the ladders until quite far into the game. Hopefully, by that point, you've had a little bit of time to practice things. Anyway, that's good level design right there, because it means I'm not getting stuck at the beginning of the game. So, There's another checkpoint, and here is our first enemy, or is it? Yes, it is, or is it? Yes, this is a Slimepire. They patrol around. We can use our gun on them if we want, or we can just run through them. Now, if we run through them, you may notice, oh dear, our character is becoming green, and there was a countdown. Yes, if that countdown runs out, we turn into a Slimepire too, which is actually quite cool. So there we go, we're a Slimepire now. Now, when we're a Slimepire, we can fly, which I think is really cool. We also have the sliding movement, similar to the player. I think the Slimepire's sliding might be a little bit faster. Once we are a Slimepire, though, we can't interact with things. As you can see here, this is a restore point. You can heal partial human infection and record a human to ensure their survival, but it doesn't work for Slimepires. So unfortunately, once you've turned into a Slimepire, there isn't really much that you can do. Or is there? Oh look, we can land safely on spikes when we're a Slimepire, and we can perhaps explore the game. Perhaps you can do that in your own time. I don't want to spoil things today. So yeah. Once you've turned into a Slimepire, there isn't really much for you to do besides explode in rage and then return as a human at the checkpoint. Now, oh dear, I shot that Slimepire, but then I also touched the Slimepire, so yeah. Each time you touch a checkpoint, it will reset your sliminess. So further in, you'll probably see, we'll hopefully be able to show you this. Further in, you need to kind of get through the levels quite quickly, because sometimes it's extremely difficult, or impossible in fact, to avoid the Slimepires, flying or otherwise. And yeah, you've got a kind of race against time element to get to the next checkpoint, which I think is really cool. It's a very nice way of giving you kind of options without kind of putting in like an extra attack or an extra power up or something. Anytime we touch a Slimepire, we've got a few seconds where we can run around, hopefully get done what we need to do, or get to the next checkpoint. If we're not fast enough though, yeah, we do need to go back. Anyway, oh, I really wish I'd got that next checkpoint before I did that. So here we are in the main kind of area of the game. This is kind of the main kind of hub area, I suppose. So far, there isn't a lot that we can do, because you can see there's lots of doors that are blocking our way. Now, here's a nice little bit of level design here. Can you see the those kind of squares that are kind of connecting the door to the switch up there? Yes, if we hit that switch, that door should open for us. Look, it's hinting at what we need to do next. Good level design. That's one of the things I liked about this game so much, the level design. Anyway, you may have worked out actually, well, what happens if you go through the game and if you don't kill any of the Slimepires? Because look, they're not actually attacking you either. They're just minding their own business. You know, you can just avoid them if you are skillful and persistent. Yeah, you can try that in your own time. There are these, I believe these are called eggs, these vampire or Slimepire eggs. Oh, there's barrels as well that can shoot to explode. So yeah, lots of things that we can interact with in the level, which I appreciate a great deal. Okay, as you can see, there are some areas above us which we are not able to reach at the moment. There's no unlockable abilities as such, kind of, really in the main portion of the game. There aren't any unlockable abilities, so don't think, oh, I'm going to have to come back once I've got double jump. It's not going to happen. Obviously, you can turn into a Slimepire, as we've already seen, and that lets you reach certain areas, but you can't interact with anything once you're there. However, when you're first playing through the game, turning into a Slimepire is actually quite cool for kind of exploring the kind of areas coming up, so you can kind of plan your route ahead. I really enjoyed using the Slimepire ability for that. I think that's really cool. Anyway, with some signs that we can inspect, so let's give that a read. As ordered, I've changed the protocols for the safe room corridor's doors. They will remain sealed even in case of power loss. We can stay secure in there, even if the Horde break in and damage the generators. Good work. Hopefully it won't be necessary, but better safe than sorry. Yes, there is quite an interesting little story in this game. There's a lot of interesting secrets to discover about the world of the Slimepires. Really adds a lot of depth to the game. I appreciate that a lot. It's not often you see really kind of detailed stories in Pico 8 games. Pico 8 doesn't really lend itself well to very story heavy games, so it's nice to see some kind of light storytelling done through a few signs like this. So as you can see, we need to unlock some generators or turn the power back on. It's a game, you know. We always have to do things like this, don't we, in games? So yeah, we're switching on the lights basically, and that'll let us get into the safe room through these gates. So at the moment, if we shoot that, nothing happens. So we need to explore and find where we switch on these generators. Isn't that a cool little bit of level design there? I like that a lot. So looks like we need to go here first. I'm being directed in this direction. Oh, here we go. So this is where things get a little bit more challenging. Now, you can blast and shoot your way through the levels. You can just do that. You can just hit the enemies like I do. As long as you get back to the checkpoint in time, you'll be okay. Yeah, so you can shoot and blast your way through the levels, or you can dodge and avoid your way through the levels, and that might have an impact on what might happen near the end of the game. But I'll let you find that out for yourselves. Anyway, I should probably say about spoilers in these videos, shouldn't I? Is it a spoiler? I don't know. Anyway, it might be. Who knows? I know. I should know. I digress. Anyway, this the level design then. Each of the different areas of the levels has a nice different feel to it. Oh, that was terrible. Oh, let's get back. No! They'll be safe. Each of the areas has a nice different feel to it. There's not too many different tiles and things, and we haven't got any kind of palette trickery going on, but just the way the levels are laid out gives each area its own nice, unique feel, which I appreciate. It really helps stopping you from getting lost, because in a big game like this, where you've got a large level to explore, it would be very easy to get lost, and that would become frustrating. So any little hints that we are given, such as you know, the different looks, that's terrible, the different looks and layouts of the level, any little hints like that help us find our way and keep things nice and fun, which I appreciate. Let's go back and read that sign. Let's have a look. Maintenance report, 2nd of July 2097. All systems fine. Walls are looking for a bit green, but it's probably just moss. Or is it? Yeah, I do like the way the story is kind of unfolded in this game. So, this is an interesting thing. An interesting room. Lots of interesting things to look at in this room. Very interesting. I would suggest you explore this room. Quite a lot of fun. Anyway, we need to progress up here. Nothing else to see down there. Let's move along. We need to progress up here because we are getting close to switching on one of the generators. Oh, those poor Slimepires. They didn't do anything to me. Why am I so violent? Because I'm in a game and, you know, this is just how we respond to things, isn't it? It's kind of grim, kind of bleak. Anyway, we have got a nice balance of different things that we need to try and... Oh, no. We've got a nice balance of level design. We've got some precision platforming. We've got some more run and gun style sections. Lots of different styles of gameplay. The level design makes you really use the skills that are in there. Our sliding, jumping, climbing, shooting. You know, we need to be getting masters of this gaming system. Anyway, we're done with this level. Can I just point out as well, one of the things I really like about this game are the number of animations in the game. Everything that moves around in this game is animated, and it makes the world feel so alive. I mean, these pulsating eggs, they just look so creepy and weird. And yeah, it reminds me of that game that I'm not going to mention again. Anyway, we've got to our first generator, I believe. Let's flick the switch. Power on. So, if we progress through the rest of the game, there are 2 more generators that we will need to switch on as well. That let us get to the end. Let's see if I can find 1 more generator, but then I think I'll leave the rest up to you. Because really, you don't want to probably sit through watching me struggle through a game like normal. Anyway, I think the next generator is down here. Yes, here we go. So, this is one of the more challenging areas, I think. Especially challenging if you're a friend of the Slimepires. Now, there are some interesting uses of the exploding barrels. I don't think it is this one, actually. I think it's one of the other... Well, the other generator I haven't been to yet. Yeah, there are some light puzzling elements in terms of how we need to progress, which is really cool. Again, it's nice to see all of the elements in the game like the different abilities of the player, the different things that are possible because of what's the terrain, you know, like the doors and things, and the barrels and the switches. It's nice to see all of these put together and have a lot of variety in the levels. Like I say, I think one of the strongest parts of this game is the level design. Oh, this is a challenging bit. Yeah, the level design and the animation, which it's just great. So much personality in all the little sprites. Now, one of the things which took me the longest to get used to was the fact that we can actually touch these Slimepires and become infected. It's not a massive disaster if we do. As long as we can get back to a checkpoint in time, we're quite safe. It takes quite a bit of getting used to that, but once you have gotten used to it, it does really make the game, it does speed the game up a lot and make it much smoother to play. Less stoppy starty, less frustrating, which I appreciate. So this is the aforementioned difficult ladder section where I managed not to screw it up. Yeah, that took me quite a number of attempts this the first time I played through the game. But like I say, as you get through, it lets you practice the movement. And yeah, you do kind of get used to it by the end. But yeah, you might get stuck on that ladder section. Prepare for frustration. So let's find the last, or the second to last generator. Switch that on. And then I think it's time for you to go and play this game instead. Oops, I didn't switch the switch on there, did I? There we go. I think there might be another screen after this. Let's see. Oh yes, there's this one. So here's another situation where there's a slow route which we can, or if I just go down here, oh, over here you can see on the right hand side, we could shoot and blast our way up here and climb up that way. Or there's the faster, I won't say more dangerous route, but it's, I think it's definitely a faster route. But it kind of goes against what your behaviour is normally in these games, which is not to touch the enemies. But yeah, if you stand on the little green egg above where I am now, you can get through that way as well. In fact, that reminds me of Sophie's first game that I played, which was Curse of Greed, which in that game you had to collect coins, but you didn't have to collect the coins as well. Basically, the more coins you collected in the it was a platformer game. The more coins you collected, the harder things got. So it kind of went against what platformer games usually tell you to do, which is to collect everything, to be the force of entropy in the world. It's kind of like that in this. We can blast and shoot our way through the entire game, blowing everything up, or we can not. And depending on how we play, affects how the game is going to respond to us, which is really cool. One thing I did find kind of confusing in the way the movement works is the ladders. Sometimes you have to kind of hold jump on some of the ladders to actually grab onto them. Holding up doesn't always seem to do it. It didn't do it then, so maybe it's just a problem when I'm using a controller. I'm not sure, but yeah, some of the controls can be a little bit fiddly like that. You need to spend a bit of time with them and just kind of get used to them, I think, because this game doesn't have the kind of standard kind of platformer kind of feel to it, which I appreciate because a lot of platformers nowadays do feel kind of similar. So yeah, you do need to learn the controls a little bit, but then again, you kind of have to say that about any game really, don't you? You see, you come to this channel for the insightful commentary on the nature of video games, don't you? Or do you just come to watch me play a Pico 8 game? I don't know. Anyway, that was the kind of quicker way up to that was the kind of quicker way up to the top. There is the slower way involving shooting all those Slimepires and eggs, which I couldn't be bothered with. So here we are, generator number 2, switched on, and there's another sign here, so have a read of that. If the safe room is the only place that is completely slime-proof, why don't we just all move there? You want to live even more cramped than we do now? Good point. Nice little bit of world building there. So, if I was going to carry on now, I would need to find the final generator, which I believe is in the kind of northwest section of the map. But I think it's time that you go and play this game now. So, if you think this looks like a game you want to play, there are 2 ways that you can play it. You can play it through Splore, like I am doing now. It's been featured on the BBS forum for Pico 8, so you can also find it, I suppose there's 3 ways actually now that I think about it, and there's probably many more ways I'm forgetting. You can play it through the BBS forum by just visiting the Pico 8 website, and it is on there. You can play it through Splore, where it's in the featured list. It's a good job this game has been featured, it deserves it. Or you could play it on itch as well. where you can also download it and support the developer. So, if this looks like the game that you want to play, then go forth and play it, my friends. Anyway, I'm going to leave it now because I've got a lot of editing to do because this video took so many takes. Everyone wants to ring me on the phone when I'm doing a video. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very, very, very soon. I'm looking for the stop button before I click stop, which I'm going to click now.